Thunderbirds. Today we have the pleasure of introducing a very special guest who is here to speak to our Warner Elementary School family. Her name is Miss Opal Lee. Miss Lee is a retired teacher and counselor, but most importantly, she is known for being an activist. An activist is someone who takes actions to make a change or stop a change. This is happening in society and that impacts others in a negative way. Miss Opal Lee is known as the Grandmother of Juneteenth because of her activism to make Juneteenth a national holiday celebrating the abolishment of slavery in the days of the message was received by Black people in Galveston, Texas, 2.5 years later. Thanks to her efforts, on June 17, 2021, Miss Lee appeared at the White House to watch President Biden sign a bill that finally made June 19th a national holiday. Thunderbirds, let's give a warm welcome to our speaker, Miss Opal Lee.
I'm Opal Lee, and I'm going to read for the children Juneteenth, a children's story. The children asked, "Granddear Opal Lee, what does this say?" And I say, "Juneteenth, a children's story." That's the title of the book. "Granddear, can you please read this book to us?" And so I read. Over 200 years ago, people who looked like me were slaves. Someone may have read to you the stories from the Bible about slaves in Egypt, but they were not like these slaves. Men from this country and other countries stole people in Africa from their fathers, their mothers, brothers, and sisters. They chained them up and brought them across the ocean in ships. That's a lot of water, and it's a very long trip, and some did not make it. The enslaved Africans were forced to work very hard for no pay and were not treated fairly. Life was not good for them. There was a United States president like President Barack Obama named Abraham Lincoln who declared slaves would be free on January the 1st, 1863. This was called the Emancipation Proclamation. The enslaved watched at churches all night long on New Year's Eve to see how freedom would come. These were called watch night services, and many churches still hold them today. The United States was so big that Texas did not get enforcement of the Emancipation Proclamation for 2.5 years after slavery had ended. United States colored troops and Major General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas on June the 19th, 1865, and read General Order Number 3 to the people that were there. Then he nailed it to the door of what is now Reedy Chapel AME Church. General Granger declared, "All slaves are free." The slaves were so happy that they started celebrating, and we've been celebrating ever since. Each year since, there have been celebrations, and the formerly enslaved put on their best clothes. They were dressed to the nines to celebrate their freedom. This day was called Juneteenth and is celebrated in the United States and around the world. June plus 19th equals Juneteenth. Each year on the 19th of June, people celebrate the ending of slavery with festivals and concerts and educational activities. And now, President Biden has signed a bill, and all 50 states observe Juneteenth as a national holiday. That's the end of our story, children.
Wait a second, Miss Lee.
We have something for you. This is a present from the Warner Elementary family.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. But also, we have some questions.
What?
Our first question is, how did you feel when President Biden signed the bill?
Oh, I was excited. I wanted to do a holy dance, but I didn't. I just didn't know how to act. I was humbled by the president signing that bill. Thank you for asking that question.
We have two more questions. So another one is, where did you walk from when you walked to Washington, D.C.?
Well, I started walking from Texas to Washington, D.C. That's 1,400 miles. But I only walked when Juneteenth in cities too. So I walked 2.5 miles in cities like Arlington and Dallas and Chopper and Arkansas and Denver, Colorado, and Madison, Wisconsin, and Atlanta, Georgia, all of those places. And if I left Texas September 2016, I actually got to Washington January 2017. And we had asked President Obama to walk with us from the Frederick Douglass House to the Capitol, but he was in Chicago. So I didn't get what I wanted, but I didn't give up.
Oh, how long did it take?
Oh, it's taken years and years, but we took 1,500,000 signatures to Congress. And then the congressman, the president signed the bill, and we were going to take another 1,500,000 signatures. We were so glad he signed it, and he invited us to be there when he did. I was so proud, so thankful.
Okay, thank you. That's all. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. We can't choose the way we were born. Some of us are born with two parents, some one, some none. Some of us are born with legs that we can walk with. Some of us need a little help. Some of us get to eat when we are hungry. Some of us still haven't. When a person has privilege, it is a toolbox they were born with. Hammers and nails that make it easier for them to walk through the world, because the world, in all its beauty and excitement and variety, can still be a very hard place in which to live in. Privilege makes it feel easier for some people. A white person can walk down the street and not worry about being discriminated against, while a person of color cannot. Our friends might have toolbox filled with gadgets wish we had, or we might have gizmos we didn't even know others don't have.
And even though it's true we don't choose the privilege, we still have the toolbox with us at all the time. We can choose to keep the tools for ourselves, or we can choose to use it to help people who don't have what we do. We can ask our parents to pick up our friends from practice if they don't have a ride. We can tell our school we need more ramps for kids on wheels. We can invite friends over for dinner and send them off with a full belly. Privilege might make it easier for one person to build the house, but that doesn't mean they should build it just for themselves. If we have privilege, we must listen. When we understand each other, we can build a house that fits everyone. We can use our tools to build the house together. In this house, the door is always open, and come on in.